the inaugural Women's Premier League. What are the kind of improvements would you like to see next year?
Well, firstly, it was an exciting opportunity to see all of those players come. More importantly, the Indian domestic players. There was so many conversations about when will it happen, what would be the uptake of it. Certainly, a lot of people enjoyed it. As for how it will get better, I think the main thing is that I'm sure Indian domestic players all of a sudden saw the game played at that level. Indian players mixing with international players regularly. We've seen it in the IPL originally, and the lessons that these players have learnt. No doubt the female players here in India will learn from that experience and just go a little bit higher with their training. I certainly also noticed that there were opportunities where conversations were happening out in the middle, and I think the game has actually gone on a little bit higher. WPL, because of the depth and the strength and the pitches that were available in Mumbai, enabled an exciting brand of cricket. So all of a sudden T20 cricket has gone up another level, which means players need to keep adapting. Improvements, no doubt BCCI will continue to improve it. There are talks potentially of maybe it'll go to home and away or different venues, which I think will be important to growing the fan base, given the fact that there's only a couple of teams that are traditional IPL teams and then obviously two new sides. So the more that the game gets taken around the country, the growth and the appetite for women's cricket will increase.
We did not see a lot of uncapped Indians coming to the fore. We did see Saika Ishaq and Shankar Patil. Do you think it'll take another 2-3 editions for the Women's Premier League to get the same kind of players that an IPL produces?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you look at how it was run, you look at IPL teams such as Delhi, Bangalore and Mumbai Indians and the infrastructure that they have. No doubt those players will benefit from being involved in a setup like that. Not to say that their state setup isn't good enough, but it's just going to add another layer to it. The men's IPL, we've seen historically that it's taken a few years. I would imagine that it would follow a very similar format, but I'd love to see the girls take off and we see a few more Indian domestic players, uncapped players, in next year's edition really put their hand up.
And when does it impact the national team? Because they are trying to win a major title. So when does the effects of WPL show on the national team?
Yeah, I think not only WPL but also the under-19 side that won the inaugural World Cup, and then potentially if they can put an India A side that travels, all of those things will be really important stepping stones to increase your bucket of players that are pushing for selection at the highest level. Once that happens and there's a big influx and fighting for positions, then I think the Indian side will just go to that next level. I mean, they are the one side that does push the Australian team regularly. They just haven't been able to get over the line, and hopefully competitive cricket regularly, whether it be in state cricket, domestic tournaments, and then obviously WPL, then you might see them beat the Australian side or win those crucial moments in an ICC event.
Yes, and going forward, do you think India needs a foreign coach, or he can have a local coach as well, or someone like you would be interested in taking up the job?
Whoever is the best person for the job to challenge the players and take them to another level, whether that be a domestic, an Indian coach or foreign coach, I guess that's up for the BCCI to kind of go through all the resumes and see who's the right person. But certainly there is a lot of talent. It's one thing that was evident. There just needs to be a few little finishing touches put on this Indian side, and I have no doubt they're going to be world beaters.
Last question. I think Heather Knight recently said that maybe the women's game is also going the men's way, and there's a lot of workload management that you will need a couple of years down the line because the leagues are coming up. How do you see that panning out?
Yeah, I mean, you can't continue to physically put your body and train it at a high level and play games and travel from one tournament to the next. I don't think it's physically possible. Whilst it sounds great, and for the average punter they think what a lifestyle, but it's taxing on so many different levels. So you don't want players to be breaking down regularly. That's not good for them, it's not good for their national team, it's not good for their franchise team. So I believe teams will have to, and players will have to take a little bit of ownership to decide what they need to do and what they should be available for to ensure that they're playing as frequently as they would like.
Sorry, one more I have to ask you this. You were obviously part of the champion Australian team. How do you get that champion mindset? Because we've seen with the Indian team, they have kind of tanked the game from a winning position more often than not.
Oh, harsh, tanked the game. I think there is a belief when I was playing, and I certainly know it's the same now, that the Australian team believes they can win from any situation, simply because they have done it in the past. I can talk about my generation. There was a lot of New South Wales players, and we used to win national titles regularly, and there were times we shouldn't have won, but we managed to win somehow. We kept our cool, we kept our nerve, we were able to execute our skills under pressure. So once you have that belief, it's very hard to train and coach that in. You've got to be put in those situations, and you need to come out of it successfully to start to believe that. And for India, they've been this close so many times. They just need to get over the line, and I think the tide will change.